Hey guys, welcome to Beast Mode Sales. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to be like that, guys. Listen, I'm going to be me, okay? If you want raw, direct experience from a guy that's got well over 10,000 one-on-one consultations at this point, with all different people from all different backgrounds, has sold tons of different products, and just has a lot of experience that he wants to share with the world. I'm in the process of completing a book. It's called It's Just a Conversation, and it's about how to end the suffering between salespeople and their prospects. There's a lot of unnecessary suffering going on there, and it doesn't need to be so complicated, and it doesn't need to be a stressful process. And so I'm going to be sharing some things along the way, including my own one-on-one consultations that I've been doing in recent years on Zoom. And actually, I started doing them fresh. So I've got a whole library full right now that I'm going to be releasing in time. And I'm going to make the subscription super, super low. And I'll probably be taking like the first 1,000 people or something at no subscription price just to kind of get the word out. So I hope what I have is of great value to the world, and that's my goal, is to bring value and to bring peace and love. That is my mission, and there's a lot of metaphysical principles that you will find in the book. It's just a conversation. And also you'll find as I'm critiquing my own consultations. So this is going to give you, the audience, a first person point of view. You're going to be able to see right through my eyes. You're going to be looking at a replay of my consultations with real customers on Zoom, where you can see me, you can see the customer, you can see everything I'm sharing. You can hear everything. You can read body language, and I'll be pausing at periods of time throughout the video, and I'll be making some comments where I feel like maybe I can add some additional value. What you'll get from me is 100% authenticity. I'm still trying to find my comfort zone doing this, but I hope in time I can get more and more comfortable. I've been learning from guys like Chase Hughes, Jefferson Fisher, Jordan Peterson, and of course I've studied a lot with the teachings of Alan Watts and Jesus, and just so many spiritual leaders that pointed the way to an easier way to live, to a more loving way to live and exist and coexist here on earth. And it's all about love, in my personal belief. It all goes back to love. We come here to learn and to have a lot of experiences, including a diversity of emotions. And I do believe we are supposed to experience pain. I think the greater the pain, the greater the potential pleasure on the other side. So my goal is also, one of my avocations is to kind of help people become more comfortable with the idea of death. This is a thing that people are just very afraid of. And after watching hundreds and hundreds of near-death experiences and studying the data from medical doctors who have been studying thousands upon thousands of near-death experiences around the world, that they have now published a lot of information. And what we're seeing is we're seeing consistencies, percentages that are so high, beyond 80%. Okay, some things up 90% or higher. Like these are very, very consistent. Okay, these near-death experiences. And if you haven't looked at them, I would highly encourage you to check it out. But I really believe coming to grips with your own mortality, looking at it face to face through the lens of people that have already crossed over and come back to tell you exactly what it was like. And I would challenge anyone to listen to a couple dozen of those. There are short ones on YouTube. Some of them are just 8 minutes long. You'll find it. Just type in NDE, okay, for near death experience. Watch some of these videos, and I hope it eases your fear. If you do have a fear of death, I hope it brings some peace to you. and that your heart can remain full of love and open and know that you are enough and that there is nothing you have to do to be okay. And that there is no hell, there is only eternal, unconditional love. And we are all a part of that love. And we all return home where we reside in eternity. We come here to live and to experience and to love. And this is one of the most difficult planets for any of us to have experiences on. A lot of our compatriots are not excited about going to Earth, and maybe many of us weren't either. But at some point, we decided to take the plunge, and here we are. So, I want to promote peace on Earth. And that's a big, tall order. And I'm not even sure that's the way it's 100% supposed to be, because we're supposed to experience the different emotions. But what if we can just try to at least narrow down to a point where we are not just abusing human beings in any way, where we are protecting every single human being's sovereignty and autonomy 100%. Can we get to that point? Can we de-escalate? Okay, and I won't use the word that many of us think about when you hear those types of things, but can we go ahead and just drop everything? Can we say, hey, let us be one in humanity. Let us stop fighting. Let us stop killing each other. It is senseless. We have to stop. Let's take that money and let's dump it into AI, and let's figure out a way to slowly show the world that we are committed to at least getting rid of existential threats, okay? I don't think anyone on the planet wants to feel annihilation, okay? I don't think any of us want that. And we got enough things to worry about right now, I mean, we've got, big rocks like Oumuamua that flew past us. We didn't even see it coming till it came from in front of the sun. We were blinded by the sun. So, guys, I'm spreading a word of peace and love and joy and happiness. And if you see me rocking around a lot, guys, it's because I have a tremendous amount of pain that's still trapped in my lower back from a previous traumatic event, and that unfortunately that trauma is still in there. So working it out energetically, but in the meantime, it helps to take pressure off of it, helps me to cope with it by doing a little rocking around. I know that's annoying and obnoxious to look at, so I'll try to limit it. Okay, guys. With that being said, whoever has ends up watching this video, whether it's through amazing synchronicities that brought you here, which is highly likely. I am a magnet for people that are tuned into synchronicities, and I would love to help you on your journey in any way that I can. I don't have any selfish motives here. I am planning on making truckloads of money off of this channel. Okay, I'm planning on this channel blowing up and becoming the most ubiquitous sales training channel on planet Earth. Okay, I'm committed to that. And that's because I have some really big ambitions. Okay, ever since I was a little boy, and I had the experience of going on a big yacht with my best friend, Rhett. I'll say his name, he'll be okay with it. Rhett Russenberger, my dear friend, and his dad. Boy, his dad worked so hard and he built companies. And man, like many of us entrepreneurs, he went through some failures early on, but he didn't know there was no failing in his mind. So if that particular idea didn't work out, it didn't slow him down at all. And that can be very stressful for the people in your life when you don't quit ever. And it's well beyond what people's normal comfort zone would be, just light years beyond it. And so we begin to look crazier and crazier and crazier because we become more and more of the outlier. And then when we become billionaires and multi-billionaires, everybody looks at you and says, oh man, that guy, golly, he's got it made. And they don't understand that having it made is having peace in your heart. It's not how much money you have. It's about having peace in your heart. And it takes a certain amount of money to have peace in your heart, but it's certainly not billions of dollars. So the only reason I need that much money or want that much money is because I've had a dream since I was a little boy of being the captain of my own ship. And I had a dream that one day I would be able to be like Mr. Ray, and I would build a company and sell it like Mr. Ray did. And I would have the ability to afford a big boat, a big yacht like that, not because I just want to have a big yacht, but because I've always wanted to explore the world by sea. And if you're going to explore the entire world by sea and do trans-Pacific crosses, you want to have a boat that's big enough that you're not getting seasick on. And if you happen to run into a typhoon or something that somehow you didn't see coming ahead of schedule, you'd like to have a chance at survival, okay? And that includes like the Atlantic as well. But the Pacific, you've got to go as much as 4,000 miles from Los Angeles just to get to Honolulu. So most of these boats, a boat that's carrying enough fuel to go that distance has to be a pretty big boat, pretty big. I probably 85 feet and up. But it just depends on the type of vessel. My first vessel is going to be 111 feet, and it's going to be called Wellness. That's it, just Wellness. At any rate, that's my story, a little bit of it anyway. As I mentioned, I have over 10,000 one-on-one consultations in my sales career. I have sharpened the saw over and over and over and over again. And that has been a huge benefit to me learning so much about communication and human psychology and what is important to help a person get from, hey, I don't know anything about this product or service, to, hey, I feel very confident in what I know about this product or service, and I feel like I'm sitting down with a trusted advisor. And I feel at ease with this person. This person seems like they want to help me and they have no selfish interest in that. They simply want to help me to make an educated decision. And they have let me know up front, hey, there'll be no pressure here today. Today, if you decide you want to move forward with one of our products or services, great. If not, that's perfectly okay too. Everybody just it's okay, relax. There will be no pressure, okay? I'm here to help educate you and help you make an educated decision. That's my job as a professional water quality specialist, aka sales consultant, okay? So if you find a benefit from that, okay, and I've also had, I'll just tell you, I've had in my sales career, there was one point where I was in a different city almost every week, almost the entire year for 5 years, helping my best friend, lifelong best friend, Mike Vega, who has been extremely successful in business. And Michael and I met when we were 3 years old, and we fell in love immediately. And we, as friends, our hearts just boom, boom, just synced right up at 3 years old. And, from that point forward, we were glued together, simpatico. We had an identical worldview, and the world was just our oyster. There was nothing we couldn't do. And that's because we had influences who told us, hey, there's nothing you can't put your mind to that you can't do. And that came direct down the pipe from my grandfather, direct to me, saying, Ryan, you can do anything you put your mind to, son. I can hear it like it was yesterday. I love my papa. And I also love my parents deeply. And, my parents are amazing human beings. They have tremendous love, and they are the perfect example of what it is to be a married couple in a long-term relationship. They had me in 1977, and they were married just the year before. So, 49 years, and in one year they'll celebrate the big 50, 50 years of continuous marriage, raising four children who have all been felt completely supported in every way. We have absolutely, we see each other, we hear each other, we love each other, we support each other, and I'm so grateful for my family. And I hope that more and more people have the opportunity to come into Earth with a family like that. I do believe personally that we choose our soul family members that are going to come here to Earth with us and have this amazing mystical experience and of coming here with amnesia and being divinely implanted in the mother's womb and the genetic engineering it took to put a sperm and an egg together and create this amazing complex biological avatar, this skin suit mostly filled with water. You know, what are we talking about here, right? This is an amazing vessel for us to experience the world in our five senses, right? And many of us have discovered this sixth sense, right? This intuition, this intuitive knowing that there's just more, that there has to be more in this expansive universe with trillions and trillions of galaxies and even trillions and trillions more planets, you know, and stars. And it's like endless, right? So we can't even comprehend it until we get home, until we wake up. And we can wake up here, and that's a little weird, to be honest with you, waking up here. That's been a little odd. That's been a little weird. You can't really look at anything the same ever again. And it can kind of be a lonely place, you know. You can find yourself kind of all alone, not really feeling like you can truly connect with someone unless they have gone really deep down the rabbit hole, and usually is a result of tremendous pain. And for me, you know, my physical pain is high, is a very high degree. So, you know, and I had my own emotional pain, right, and suffering that, you know, I chose to have before I came here. So I would I would never hold anyone believing the way I believe now and knowing the way I feel I know now. I would never hold anyone responsible for any offense against me because I would assume that that was already divinely planned and it was up to me to choose love rather than hate. And, you know, I think when I see things come out in me that I think, oh my goodness gracious, that was over the top, I have to practice radical self forgiveness and I have to pray for the person that was harmed by my behavior as a human being or in having a human experience trying to evolve. Having not always been consciously aware that I was more than my physical body and thinking that this was me, not realizing that this is just the vessel that my spiritual essence is currently inhabiting and animating, basically, like in a video game. You have an avatar, you know, player one, okay, player two. So, you know, I'm now playing a video game, having lots of fun, but sometimes I can forget that perspective and my worldview can regress back to what it was, maybe a step before that. And I catch myself and say, okay, man, look, whew, you lost sight again, you know. Make sure you've got plenty of things in your life to remind you, Ryan, not to lose sight of that, because the last thing you want to do is hurt any human being in any way. But the reality is, I have hurt people as a human being, and I have had deep regret for those hurts. And I do wish that it could have been different, and I definitely could have done better. And I take full responsibility and full accountability for anything that I've done to cause harm to another human being. And I always say it out loud. If I've hurt you and I don't know it, please seek me out. Seek me out and allow me to own it, to verify it, you know, to acknowledge it, to see it, to hear it fully, and to fully take on accountability specifically for the specific harm, the specific nature of the harm. And I can request forgiveness. And hopefully you can find it in your heart to forgive me. If you can't, no problem. It's all good. We don't have to do anything, guys. There's really no right or wrong in that sense, okay? We're just trying to evolve, and we are all infinite love. That's our true essence. We are all infinite love. We are all things and no thing. We are together, we are connected as one, but we do get to maintain our own personal identities as spiritual entities, at least as far as the NDEs can see. Okay. None of them obviously have remained in the light, but they have all been in the presence of the light and they have experienced so many things that are so the exact same over and over and over again. And the message they come back with is it's all about love. It's about learning to choose, learning what real unconditional love looks like and feels like. And a lot of us have to go through a lot of pain and suffering to get to that point where we let go completely. And we remove all limitations. We remove all prior conditions for other people to receive our love. We give our love freely without reservation, and it is an unbridled river, a roaring river of love. And that is the goal, at least for me, to allow what people would call God, right? A higher power, you know. Whatever your conception is of a power greater than yourself or your creator, if you believe that you were created by something, whatever that source is, the key. And I apologize, guys, I do lose my train of thought sometimes, so there'll be periods where I'll just click out for a second, and sometimes I can pick up and remember where I was, and sometimes I can't. Everything you'll hear me say will always be off script. I don't use scripts. I don't need scripts. I am the script. Okay. And I'm going to deliver it to you straight. All right. And if my expertise helps you in any way, then I feel I have done a service, okay, to the world of business and hopefully a service to humanity in general. And I appreciate you taking the time to check out the channel. So welcome to Beast Mode Sales. And I'm going to go ahead and pause it here for a second to take a break, and we'll be right back with you. Oh, before I go, I want to introduce someone, and she's been patiently waiting. Brianna is my sidekick, okay? Howard Stern has Robin Quivers, okay? I have Brianna Phelps, all right? It's the same exact type of relationship, all right? It's a wonderful relationship. And we have been professional colleagues now for quite some time. And Bree really helps me stay focused and centered on first principles and the things that are most important. Because when I'm in the frame, I only have a limited viewpoint. I can only see a certain area around me. But Bree is not, Bree is looking at me from a third party perspective. So she can see me and everything around me. Okay. She's got this global viewpoint. And so she can help me to perceive things differently and hopefully in a better way if my perception is not, you know, good, if it's not the best it could be, right? Which I'm always open, right? I consider myself wrong long before I consider someone else wrong. I'm quick to listen to others. I may get excited and sometimes cut people off, and I try to recognize it and apologize for it. But I am genuinely interested and genuinely curious, deeply curious about everyone and everything on this planet because I finally realized I didn't have to do anything. I didn't need salvation in the first place. I just needed to be seen and heard, acknowledged, and loved. That's all I need. I don't need anything more than that. And that's a wonderful place to be because that is a liberating state. I'd like to also give a shout out to Sadhguru, also to Eckhart Tolle, Deepak Chopra, Anthony Robbins. Tony, I love you, man. You were my first personal development journey in personal power and then personal power too. That forever changed my life, my worldview, and it changed my energetic state for life. You unlocked things in me that I didn't even know were inside of me. And that was the beginning of my journey of transforming from a boy into a man, you know. And it's taken me a lot of time to fully integrate both my light and, my shadow self that Dr. Carl Jung talks about. I've been trying to integrate, but really I don't need to try. I just need to let go and let it happen. And that's kind of exactly what happened. It wasn't planned. But I love my family deeply, and I feel now that I can move forward confidently as an independent man. And like many men, we want our fathers to be proud. We want to impress our fathers. And at some point, we have to let them off the hook with that because at a certain point, it's just not healthy, in my opinion. A boy needs to be able to transition. A man needs to, and a lot of men don't find this out until later in life, if they're lucky. If they're lucky, and once you see it for what it is, it's simple and it's never anything malicious at all. And usually, actually, it manifests more when the person is trying to exhibit love and support. So it's a very complex thing, but Dr. Carl Jung talks about it. He refers to it as individuation. So if you're struggling with your relationship with your parents, I would highly recommend taking a look at Carl Jung's videos on individuation. And also, I think, uh, what's his name? Jordan Peterson. Jordan Peterson, I believe, has a good many topics on individuation. Okay. Um, and maybe the rest of the guys I mentioned as well. Um, Chase Hughes, Jefferson Fisher, these guys have become, my tribe, right? The guys that I look to and say, gosh, how can I communicate better? And just when I thought that I was a good communicator, I discovered once again in my life, I don't know shit. And I'm okay with not knowing shit. Lord knows I have had to be told that, and I have known it for a very long time, but I've been, told it and known it enough that I'm confident I don't know shit. I may know a way to do something that works, but that doesn't mean it's the only way, right? So, uh, anyway, so I had to let my dad off the hook and my mom off the hook, and unfortunately, it's a painful experience for both sides. But I recommend if you feel anything that comes up, I recommend trying to bring it to the light. And I tried to follow the suggestions of professionals like the guys I mentioned. I don't feel like I did a good job of it really at all. And I have a lot of sadness in my heart for the pain it caused them. But I'm glad that we're both becoming free now, and we have the opportunity now for our love to go even deeper. And that's my hope. That's my hope. So love you, mom and dad. Love you, my beautiful sisters, Lauren, Beth, and Katie. And they are just beautiful, beautiful, strong women, beautiful families, and they're an inspiration to me. I wish that my turbulence in life had not affected them as much as it did also. But I think they know where my heart is, and I think they know uh, that I see them and I hear them, and I intend to be the best version of me that I can be and the best family member that I can be. And that's all any of us can do outside of trying to make direct amends for specific harms that I believe is very important also to face that, bring it to the light. If you're not sure, ask the person, hey, listen, if there's anything I've done to you ever, if I've ever stepped on you in any way or suppressed you or anything that you feel has been harmful to your mind or your spirit or your body or whatever it is, please, will you let me know? Will you please let me know so that both of us can be released from the bondage of self? Because that's really where it's at. And then from there, it's radical self-forgiveness. Thank you, Chase Hughes. Thank you so much for saying that over and over again. Radical self-forgiveness, guys. That's where we're at. Radical self-forgiveness. All right. The forgiveness, the total forgiveness is within. Okay. Okay. We need to let go. We need forgive within and forgive without. okay? Because we're all human and we all have the same struggles, okay? It's all right. We're here to catch you. Listen, it was scary to let go, okay? And just like the rock climbing, I was one of the last guys to get down and grab that rope and rappel off there. And it took me a long time to sit my butt back and let go. I was really afraid. And I know what it's like to go through that. And I know what it's like to go through that emotionally and spiritually as well. So, namaste to all, to humanity, to my parents, to my beautiful family. Namaste. Okay, now back to the action. So, thank you for that moment. Brianna has been with me for over 5 years now, and Brianna came in and just immediately I could see she could run circles around me and anybody else in the company. And I realized that she was the perfect person for our production department. And Bree filled that seat very quickly, and she intuitively knew the right things to do. And it would not be possible for me to be standing where I'm standing right now and for Wellness Water Company to be where it is right now in its 10th year of business. We have expanded from 1 to 43 states and Hawaii. And we are now cranking. The word is out. Get clean water. If you want clean water, call Wellness Water Company. That's the plug. All right. Wellnesswatercompany.com. 844-944-PURE. There you go. Made it easy for you. 844-944-PURE. All right. So call us and we'll give you a free consultation and you'll get our call center. They'll pick up immediately. It takes just a couple minutes for them to schedule a Zoom consultation, and that Zoom consultation will happen at your convenience to the best of our ability. And you'll be able to speak with one of our certified water quality specialists at Wellness Water Company, okay? And you'll be able to get more information about your water in your area. They'll share the latest water quality information, the water quality testing data for your area. We now have access to that thanks to Environmental Working Group (EWG). They have put together a database of all the testing that goes on, and they've put it into a zip code tool lookup. So you can go to EWG.org, EWG.org. That stands for Environmental Working Group.org. And I might be doing this in reverse. Bree can tell me when I bring her in. But EWG.org/tap water. Okay. Go to EWG.org/tap water to see what's in your water. You can scroll down, pick your treatment facility, and then scroll down again, and you'll see the total contaminants on the left. You'll see the contaminants listed out, according to their categories. Whether it's organics, volatile organic compounds, whether it's trihalomethanes or forever chemicals or arsenic, any type of lead, any of the things that people are most concerned about, okay? So we have the ability to filter water down to a level that is much, much healthier than any water that a normal person would shower in. And that's our primary focus. We've been doing alkaline drinking water for a very long time, but this emerging data or knowledge that we are now obtaining related to the correlation between these contaminants it's hard for me to say. It really is because I'm not a guy that likes to alarm anybody, but this is not a five, what do they call it? A 5 alarm fire. Okay. We don't need the fire department right now. We need understanding and we need grace and we need love. Okay. It's nobody's fault. We are where we are. Nobody's fault. There was nothing malicious and there's no conspiracy theory whatsoever. Okay. And Bree, I'm going to take just a second if you don't mind, because I think this story is very important to get out. As we became an industrialized, prosperous nation, we knew right away that if we didn't have a centralized water treatment system where the water would have to go through a specific treatment facility and be treated, basically sanitized and shocked. So they utilize chlorine, and they also utilize chlorine and ammonia combined, which is referred to as chloramines. And they put that in the water to sanitize the water to make sure that there are no living microorganisms. Okay, no living bacteria, pathogens, pyrogens, cysts, brain-eating amoeba like they've had in the New Orleans area and other places. Like none of that. Okay, so they do a great job of that, of killing all living microorganisms. The problem is, or the trouble is we are also a living organism. We're just a macro living organism. And our largest organ in our body is our skin. And we absorb a lot of things in our skin. Think about all the things that you apply to your skin, okay? The skin is a very efficient delivery system, all right? And that's why people use, pain patches. Like I have pain patches that slowly release, medication for my back. You have nitroglycerin patches, for heart stuff. You have scopolamine patches. I think that's what it is for seasickness. You have lotions and creams and all sorts of stuff we use, right? For all different sorts of reasons. So the trouble is the water we're showering in is not only highly chlorinated water, it also, listen, I want to be as conservative as I can to make sure that I don't offend anybody that works from the municipal treatment facilities anywhere in the United States or anything related to that. All right. I am fully supportive of you guys, and y'all have done the best you possibly can. And when you come out and you tell the general public the water's safe, that is an honest statement. The water is safe. It has been sanitized so that no micro living organisms can be alive. So we don't end up with waterborne illness outbreaks like they have in third world countries, in areas like in Africa, Tanzania, okay, the Doma area, places like that. Put a plug in. I'm going to put a plug in now for Water for Mercy. Water for Mercy is a partner. Well, I should say we're a partner of Water for Mercy. Waterformercy.org. It's water, the number 4, mercy.org is a nonprofit 501c organization. It was founded by a dear friend, Nermeen. And you can go to the website and check it out. But we have a Spreading the Wellness campaign as a corporate sponsor for that particular cause. And we donate a portion of our proceeds to that cause. So every single profit we give a little bit to them. Okay, it usually works out to about 10% of net profit. All right, but it's not a huge amount. But when you add it all up, it ends up being a huge amount. And we're proud of the contribution that we have had the ability to make, and we look forward to continuing to be a fully supportive partner with Water for Mercy. If you want to make a small donation, by all means, go there. It's a wonderful thing to see. There's a 3.5 minute video. I would say it's worth just looking at the video regardless, just to know what's going on, over there. It's amazing, guys. And we have the ability to make a massive impact on the planet. So we would love to have your help to spread the wellness. That's all I can say. All right. That being said, we can take care of the water. I don't want to leave people hanging. We do have a solution. Let's just leave it at that. We do have a comprehensive solution, and if you speak with one of our water quality specialists on a Zoom call from the comfort of your home or the coffee shop or anywhere you want, hell, even work, if you can get away with it, you can check us out. All you got to do is call 844-944-PURE, 844-944-PURE, or you can go to wellnesswatercompany.com, wellnesswatercompany.com. And we look forward to speaking with some of you and educating you, and hopefully you can help continue to spread the wellness and let people know this is the only way, the only practical way to handle and address this problem. There was a time in this country where no one had an air conditioning system. No one was responsible for conditioning their own air. And pretty soon there's going to be no one that's not responsible for conditioning their water. So this is just the next major appliance that's necessary for us to attempt to live the healthiest lives that we can live. And by the way, all these contaminants, they emerged in a major way in recent years, and the reason is the chlorine, it ends up combining with herbicides, pesticides, insecticides, and it forms a very specific covalent bond. Actually, I'm using that term covalent, that may not be correct. I'm trying to reiterate what my Uncle Julio taught me. And so uh, another blank spot. Bear with me. Sometimes I go to a place of no mind and there's nothing there. And that's okay. That just means it's time for me to wrap this up. So, Julio taught me everything I know. And so we have the ability to protect ourselves from the chlorine and chloramines and trihallomethanes that are just a byproduct of chlorination disinfection. It's just a natural byproduct. There, like I said, there is no there's no conspiracy here, guys. I can tell you it's not. I've spoken to a lot of water departments across the United States, and some of the best people in our country work for water utilities. They really do. They're some of the sweetest people in this country, and they're doing the best they can with the technology that they have available to them. But the reality is, we do not possess the technology capability to filter the water on a macro scale, okay, like a treatment facility that might be serving 4.5 million people, some odd people in Los Angeles, or any size. We cannot filter that water the way that we can filter it at the level of the home. When we get to the level of the home, we are dealing with a much smaller volume of water, and it's much easier to condition that water. So, on top of the health benefits, it feels amazing to shower in water that has all of the hardness removed. You know, you don't realize how hard water is until you shower in soft water, and then you can't tolerate hard water ever again. And over 85% of the country has hard water. Uh, so it's a massive difference in the shower. Your skin comes out soft and smooth. Uh, because the hardness is not stripping away the essential oils in your skin, which are the best lubricant there is, and your skin is not being exposed as much to well, it won't be exposed at all if you get our systems, but it's not exposed to the chlorine anymore and all the other stuff. So you don't have the drying out effect, is what I'm trying to say. So you don't have to keep, getting out of the shower and slapping lotion on. You'll find that your skin takes about 3 to 6 months to adjust. And one of the number one things that we're told is that people that have our systems installed, one of the number one things that people say is that their skin issues resolve. And I'm not going to say that all skin conditions will resolve. I would never say that. I'm just telling you, one of the number one pieces of feedback we get is that either my skin or my husband's skin or wife's skin or my children's skin has really improved. And, we've all noticed an improvement, but that particular person that had skin irritation or sensitivity or, eczema like things, that person has had marked improvement, many times just complete disappearance of the symptoms. So also one plug for autism, for autistic children. There is now, believed to be, it appears to be, there may be a link between chlorine and autism. Not to say that chlorine causes autism by any stretch of the imagination. I do not believe that. But of course, I'm open to all information, right? I could be wrong about anything. But there seems to be a correlation. I've spoken with mothers, a good many mothers now, that have children that are autistic, and they've discovered that they seem to have a neurological sensitivity to chlorine. When they're in the swimming pool or when they're in the bathtub, the children seem to have sort of a lot of times like outbursts, like they can't control their mind sort of takes over and they sort of lose awareness. Okay. They lose a little bit of their conscious awakeness, I guess. And they can throw tantrums. It can look ugly and it can manifest after showers. It can manifest sometimes even worse after swimming in a chlorinated pool. So parents with children that are autistic, look online for other parents who are making this correlation, right? I'm not saying this is direct causation. I'm just saying this is some feedback that I've been hearing. This is chatter I've been hearing. There's no one that's going to respect our nationwide water treatment municipality system more than me because I understand the nature of the problem and I understand the limitations of dealing with it on a macro scale. Okay. We lost Bree. She'll forgive me. This is an important message, a very important message. The only practical solution is to handle it, to condition the water at the level of the home. Okay. The water is not going to get better, right? And even if we had the money, if we could afford it, which we can't currently afford it, but even if we had the financial means to tear down all of our treatment facilities and maybe build reverse osmosis plants all across the United States, right? Take up a bigger footprint and more maintenance and everything else. And even then, if we did all of that, over 47,000 treatment facilities, if we managed to do all of that, we'd still have to replace all the pipes to all the homes and all the businesses across America. This is not going to happen realistically as far as we can see. We've done some back of the napkin, what I call Cajun mathematics. So we have made several deducements, if you will, Miss Cher. Hello, Lafayette. I love the people of Lafayette, Louisiana. I miss you guys. Bobby Gauthier, Wyatt Anderson, Dwayne Bergeron, Ben, my good friend Ben Mater. Wow. Luke Miles. Oh man. Gosh, I could sit here for a while and list off these guys. And the funny thing is, we relocated when I was 10 years old. Remember them that well because a lot of us were on a soccer team together and we had a strong bond. But we ended up having the blessing of relocating to Pensacola, Florida. My father is a physician and currently acting as our chief medical advisor. My dad recently retired after 40 plus years as an OBGYN specialist, obstetrician and gynecologist. And my dad is one of the most amazing, upright men I know in my life. My dad is the ultimate example of a man who exudes first of all, a certain degree of stoicism. And I think this is really important. And this is part of what I'm trying to do now is individuate and try to model my dad in this way is this stoicism that it's not that we are trying to suppress our emotions. It's just that we are responsible for learning how to handle them in a healthy way. And when we do that, we can possess higher degrees of stoicism where we can remain at peace, even when there's chaos around. And we can be the voice of peace and love, and we can hold the light, okay? We can hold the light. And that's important. And my dad can do that. And I thank my dad because I feel like I can do that as well. In fact, I know I can do that, okay? That's just a fact. And I have had the privilege to do that for many men. And man, I tell you guys, we ain't that different. We're not that different at all. We're pretty eerily similar in our struggles. So you're not alone. You're not alone. And if you're feeling super lonely right now, join our tribe, man. We're just kicking this thing off. Jump on board, man, and come for the ride. because it's only going to benefit you. Man, if it's not, all you got to do is unsubscribe. No big deal. So please hit the subscribe button if you will. That's going to help the channel. And also, my apologies, call there. Please hit the subscribe button if you like what I've given you today. This is just an introduction, really. I was going to go into some sales stuff, but I'm going to hold off, especially since Bree had to drop off. It's getting kind of late in the evening. So, anybody that is a part of the government, I have a proposal. I have a solution, actually, just a flat out recommendation I would like to present to President Trump. And I would like to present it directly to President Trump. This is a sensitive matter, and it needs to be handled as such. And I trust Donald Trump, President Donald Trump, Donald J. Trump, Mr. Trump, who I have a lot of respect for, okay, and his family. I have seen the love that his family pours on him, and I got to tell you, families that have somebody that they don't genuinely love like that, they don't act like that to someone they don't genuinely hold unconditional love for. And look at how secure his children are. That's because they were raised with tremendous amounts of love from both Mr. Trump and his beautiful bride, our First Lady, Melania. Thank you. Thank you to the Trump family. President Trump, I am, I suppose, officially requesting the opportunity to meet with you, and I will meet you anywhere, anytime at your convenience. And I would like to spend, it's not going to take but a minute, not even a minute. In fact, the solution I can give you, it's going to take about 15 seconds maybe of your time, 30 max. Okay. And I know that's a lot of time for you. So I'll keep it as short as possible. I will literally have a script and I will just bang it out. Hey, this is my recommended solution. And I think you'll like it. And I think it's a win-win-win-win across the board. And I think America's going to love it. And I think Wellness Water Company is going to fulfill its mission of solving the water crisis in America. And everybody relax. We use that to get people's attention. The reality is, if we don't address it, it will continue to, we will not be able to be our healthiest, okay? So in our opinion, it warrants taking some action. And I have a solution that's going to help the people to be able to afford to do that. So I hope it works out. No promises, obviously. I don't have that much influence, okay? But I have a lot of experience in water filtration, and I hope I have the opportunity to sit down with our amazing, fearless, protected president. Wow. Mr. President, I saw a change in you after you were shot, after that unbelievable protection from your angels and spirit guides. And this is my beliefs again from what I've heard in the NDEs. But man, are you protected? And I truly believe that at the end of the day, that America will be the better for it in a huge way. And I hope that the new values that you are setting down right now, that are values that are good for humanity, in my opinion, and I don't think, people would disagree. I don't feel like there's any, and listen, guys, my perspective is very limited, right? And I know half the country just despises the man, at least that's the way the media portrays it. What do I know? All I know is it's important for us to unify, to come together, to drop our arms, okay? Just, it's okay. We don't have to live like this. We don't have to live in fear, okay? We don't have to propagate fear, all right? We are infinite love. We need to just remember who we are by looking inward, not outward. We must look inward. You've looked outward your whole lives, forward through your eyes. As Sadhguru would ask, have you ever looked inside backwards with your eyes? Think about that for a second. Look inside. Go in there. Go in that void and just sit there and feel yourself and relax. It's okay. is perfectly okay, just as it is right now. Okay? So don't let anybody lead you to believe any different. If God is truly unconditional love, there should be no requirements, there should be no conditions to receive his love, the fullness of his unconditional love. And I think most people would agree that God is unconditional love. If that's true, there can be no conditions attached to it. You know, that can be a tall order for man, but it is certainly possible. It's something that I strive for my whole life. But I think the biggest breakthroughs I've had is just learning more about myself and my relationship to the rest of the planet and the beautiful other spiritual beings that are having a human experience in a biological avatar, skin suit, mostly filled with water. Thanks, Chase Hughes. I think you're the first one that coined that. That's such a beautiful statement. Water of all things. I think it's over 70%. I have to ask Julio to be exact. I think it's usually 70% or more, 75%, somewhere like that, depending on how hydrated we are. So stay hydrated, stay healthy, America. Get you some alkaline reverse osmosis drinking water so you never have to worry about going out and buying the last case of bottled water ever again. Save your family tons of money that you can't even believe you could save. These systems pay for themselves very quickly and they continue to save you lots of money every single month compared to not having them. And there are a bunch of reasons that will make perfect sense to you if you take the time to just get on a call with one of our water quality specialists. We're not pushy. There will be no pressure whatsoever for you to make any decision about anything ever. We are very relaxed. We have our data together, and our water quality specialists are very qualified to educate you at as high a level as you want or as low as a level as you want. We can dumb it down or we can get more technical with it. And we try to follow your lead of what's the most important to you. So thank you, America. Thank you very much. We love you very much. And we're very grateful that you've helped us expand as much as we have. So thank you very much. Namaste. Join the hashtag love revolution. Hashtag love. Put the word hashtag love after all your posts if you'd like to join the movement. Right now, India is in the lead. They're using it 30% more than we are. Let's show India who's really got some heart and really got some love. Come on, America. Let's pull together. Let's focus on love, guys. We're all capable of it. Just let it go. It's okay. I know you're afraid. You're afraid to let it all go, to let all the angst and anger. The whole world is just full of it, and we've got to let it go. We have to. It's killing us. It's imperative. So we may not all agree on who the right leader or leaders are, but we can all agree to respect and love each other simply for the fact that we are all the same, meaning we all have obviously the same thing that's animating our bodies, right? There's some energy, there's something that's animating this body and allowing it to locomote and speak and have all these sensory experiences, all these incredible feelings, right? So, guys, the writing's on the wall. That's all I can tell you. Don't be afraid to look. I know it's scary, guys, but you will be so relieved. You will be so relieved about what we call death. It's actually just returning home, and it's just, and you are perfect, right as rain. Former previous loved ones that have passed are there to greet us. It's a celebration. We have a life review. The life review is okay. We look at our lives like in pictures, like a 360-degree holographic picture, and we can see different things in our lives. And it's really about learning to choose love, from what I understand, from what most people seem to say that I've listened to, is it's about learning what real unconditional love is, or I shouldn't say learning, it's about remembering. Okay. So we're remembering, right, that we are unconditional love. We just intentionally allowed our vibrational frequency to lower itself, just like a radio transmission has to be broadcast at a very high frequency. So the frequency has to be stepped up, okay, at the broadcasting station, which allows it to travel much longer distances. And then it has to be captured by the receiving station, and the frequency has to be stepped down so that we can hear it audibly. That's magic. If anybody doesn't think that's magic, I do. How can you take a record sound, a song, and transmit it through the ether without the use of wires? Oh, first time I learned about that, I was like, "What? That's supernatural." So it's okay, guys. It's okay. As Ram Dass said, we're all just walking each other home. We're all just walking each other home. So let's be kind. Let's be kind to one another, guys. If you see a person in need, please don't look away. If you can afford to help, help them and don't judge them. We don't know their story. We've all needed help at some point. We've all had struggles. Everybody, every human being, we don't get away with nothing. Some have struggled much more than others. And I personally believe that some of us choose to have more difficult lives because when we get on the other side back home, we can really appreciate, wow, look at that. I mean, at the end of the day, you showed love 51% of the time. In my mind, that's a success for any human being to do. And, once we let go and we can see things with a new pair of glasses, all of a sudden, it's no longer 51%. It can quickly go to 100%. So, peace and love to all the earth. May God be with us all. Elon, you are definitely my number one business hero, for sure. You are amazing. I have tried to apply your first principle thinking for many years now. And I have watched you build companies that just make me, just put me in awe. I think I may be quoting you incorrectly, but I think you said building a company is like staring into the abyss while chewing glass or eating glass. And it really is. But once we realize that we're supported by the universe, then we can let go and we can allow that universal energy to flow. And that makes creativity, the creative process, a lot easier, more efficient. And we learn that we need people, amazing people all around us. We can't do it. We just have these ideas, and then, if enough people support it, then it catches fire. And we just try to direct traffic and try to help put the right butts in the right seats. And yeah, people see you out speaking all the time. That's because you're the global figurehead for the company. They're just confusing you with your role as rocket scientist, and engineer. So it's like you have to do both, and you have a unique perspective, and you have taken the time to personally develop. And if I had to bet, I bet you have some spiritual insights that would blow my mind if I had to bet. And I would also give anything and make a formal request, Elon, to meet with you personally, to just take you to lunch, man. Anything, anytime with you. Brother, it's been a lifelong knowing that I would have some sort of contact and I would work with you in some kind of way my entire life. I mean, and of course, I'm always saying, hey, I could be wrong. My intuition could be wrong, but I'm learning more and more to trust my intuition, that sixth sense. I think really in sixth sense, and I think that this what we thing we call the sixth sense, or what we some of us refer to as intuition or a knowing, okay, or remembering. There's lots of different terms for the same concept, so we should be very gentle with each other about how we categorize things, okay, guys? Come on. Listen, it's okay for people to label anything they want to label for any reason, okay? It doesn't have to bother everybody, okay? So whatever you refer to as your power greater than yourself, that thing that is that magical thing that might be there to help you, to support you, and might be there to lift you up, whatever that is, okay? That's what we're trying to support, and we're trying to educate, and we're trying to help people become out of snow. My beautiful dog's drinking out of the toilet. We want people to be released from the bondage of self. People are in bondage to self. They think they're in bondage to the world, but they're in bondage to themselves. And if that's resonating with you inside, feel free to reach out. I can't say that I can personally help with all the calls that might come in from some sort of offer like that. In fact, why don't I just point you somewhere, you know? I would point you inward, okay? And I would point you to right now, Sadhguru. Sadhguru. Yeah, Sadhguru. Thank you, Sadhguru. Thank you for teaching me what it is to be I am. Thank you. Okay. That was, I suppose, the extra song, the bonus session. I hope you guys enjoyed your time here. I hope it was enjoyable and educational, and maybe a little bit entertaining, hopefully. So that's my goal. All right. Love you all. Peace and love. Namaste.